In this video, I'm going to be going over exactly how we helped this guy go from literally not making less than 10k a month, having like less than 10k followers, to now having over 20,000 followers and making $7,000 in just 7 days. Now, to be fair, this guy is not a client of ours. This is just a guy that reached out for help, and I looked at this profile, I analyzed it, and he made progress. So now let's get right into it. Okay, so now that we're on my screen, as you can see, this is the person that we're talking about today, right? This is the result that they achieved, the $7.4 thousand closed in 7 days with their offer, which is a coaching offer, like, dating kind of coaching offer. And he went from 8,000 followers to around 23,000 followers. And he used this funnel, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how this funnel works for social media. Now I want to be clear, when I say funnel, like a lot of people, like it doesn't work like this where, let me just find a pen here. Like it doesn't work like this where people come and then they buy, or they watch your content and then they buy. Like funnels, think of it more like an ecosystem where, you know, people will kind of watch this content, that they're going to dabble into this content and this, and they're going to come back here and then back here, and then they're not going to be able to buy or some shit like that, and they come back to these videos and then they buy. It's like the buyer's journey is not always the same. It's always going to vary. So please, you know, make sure to understand that, please. So let's go ahead and break down exactly how we help them. Like as you can see here, I've broken down the timeline of the problems he came to me with, the solution, the problem he faced again, the solution, the results he gotten, and the problem he's facing now, and then the solution that I would give him now to fix that problem that he's facing right now. And then later on, we're going to cover this funnel a little bit more in detail so you can understand how to apply it to your own business. So let's start with the initial problem. So this guy, he reached out, like we had some of our first conversations back in May. He had sub 10,000 followers, like less than 10,000 followers. As you can see, this was the situation on his account. He was getting like 2,500 views. Not very good, not very good. And he was reaching out and he was like, dude, I'm making all this content, like what's happening? Can you please help me? And he was getting no attention at all. No attention, right? Only focusing on top of funnel content, which is the right thing to do in his stage. However, it sucked. Right, the content he was making, it sucked. If you're watching this, like these street interview videos, they go fucking viral. This is viral material formats. But the content itself, it wasn't fun. It wasn't a topic that was interesting. It wasn't intriguing. It wasn't controversial, at least, right? It was just boring stuff. Like he would come to these people and ask boring questions, and he wouldn't formulate the hooks properly, and like, dude, street interviews have so much potential to go viral, but he was just not using it. And he was trying to give away value. I'm not sure if I can capture it, but he was trying to give away value when he wasn't even getting attention. He wasn't even establishing his brand. And so that's an issue, because like his videos would get value videos would get like 300 views. And so like this is something we covered in the previous videos. Like if you don't have attention, like who are you teaching anything? Like first, make sure that you get people that are going to watch you, and then give away value, right? If you are going to give away value in the earlier stage when you don't have attention, you do that through stories right here, not through content. So in the beginning stages, the content is like the top of funnel content is like the main focus. This was in May, and that's when I gave him some advice. This is where we come to the solution. The advice I gave him is focus on top of funnel content only. Do not try to give away value here and there. Like if you're gonna give away value, give it on the stories, but on the content, keep it top of funnel. Keep doing these interviews, keep doing these approaches, right? It's gonna position you as a confident guy and all that kind of stuff. Improve your content is what I told him. Like the questions you're asking, the hooks you're formulating, they're all boring. Not many people are gonna watch. Improve that, and you're gonna get a shit ton of views. Guess what, dude? Like 54,000, 23,000, 30,000. 100, a million, fucking 800,000. Like this guy was fucking taking action, improving. Be polarizing, meaning a lot of people, they're scared to annoy people or be contradictory in their content, but that's actually helpful. Like you should actually annoy people and be polarizing, right? So think of it as like a spectrum. I'm gonna draw a little spectrum chart here, right? And so there's, let's say, the end. This side of the spectrum is like nice, like you're being a nice guy. You're being like, everybody agrees with you, everybody likes you, and then you're being fucking annoying, right here, annoying. This is Jesus. No, yeah. Okay, and you're being annoying, right? So, and a lot of people, they're gonna stay here. They're gonna try and stay here. They're gonna try and stay in the middle of the polarization spectrum, and they're gonna be a little bit of nice, but they're gonna try and be a little bit annoying. But no, in reality, you don't want to be in the middle. You always, every single piece of content, you want to ask yourself, am I gonna be nice, or am I gonna be annoying? Am I gonna annoy some people, right? And that's what you need to be doing, and that's what he was doing very well. Like the content. It was actually fucking very good. Like I watched it and I would be fucking hooked in. So very good polarizing content, and slowly start providing value is what I told him. And this is like, he was starting to give videos like this where he would get like, this is a valuable video, and he hit 1 million views, which before that was like, he used to get 300, like what the fuck happened, you know? And you stopped overthinking. So then he's using this format where it's like still viral format, where he's approaching somebody so people will watch it, but then he will also give away value. So what he's using is using a viral format to get attention, but then he's leeching off that attention to give value. And that's something amazing that he did. I love it. And then position yourself properly. So what the fuck did I mean by that? His profile and his content is just like wasn't positioned properly. I don't have a screenshot of how his bio and his account was set up before, but it's like, if you come to his profile, you don't even know that he can help you with dating. You don't even know where to find his content on YouTube. You don't even know how to DM him a keyword to help you with, you know, stuff. So he was just positioning himself almost as an influencer who just goes around and asks these girls questions, right? But he wasn't positioning himself as an actual coach. Like, hey, dude, I struggle with fucking being not confident, and I learned how to become confident, and I can fucking approach any girl, and I can teach you the same. That's how I told him to position himself, with the valuable content, with better highlights, with more stories, and all that kind of stuff. Now, this all worked. This was in August and October, by the way. That was like how many months apart? He had to stick with the advice I gave him before he saw these kind of results. I mean, if you just compare the views he's getting here versus here, it's fucking miracle, right? But it's because he stuck to the advice I gave him. Obviously, he was getting good results after a month or two. It was improving, but it wasn't as crazy as this, right? So a lot of people, they will get discouraged after a month or two. They'll be like, well, nothing's working, you know. But all they have to do in reality is like stay consistent and still apply the same shit, right? And keep improving. That's all you gotta do. And this was working. This was working. He was getting a shit ton of attention. He was growing in followers so fucking insane. Like, he was getting thousands of followers. It's insane, right? But then he was encountering another problem that he came to me with. Unlike last time being this, right? Last time being like low followers, no attention. The tap was flowing. I presented this, we hopped on a call so I could help him implement all this stuff, and I told him, your tap is flowing, and tap is attention. This right here is views, it's attention. This water right now. So attention was flowing onto his account, right? He had attention, but no way to monetize it. That's the problem. The attention was flowing, but his account just fucking couldn't convert these people because it wasn't set up properly. The YouTube videos, the stories were missing, the highlights were missing. When people come to the profile, they cannot binge watch him properly to get nurtured immediately. He didn't have a setter warm outbounding to these people that just followed him. So he got attention, but he was not able to monetize it. His profile was not optimized to nurture leads. He did not have a back-end selling system in place. Just like I told you, the setter. He did not have a setter. Like, bro, if you're getting thousands of followers and you have a setter reaching out to all of those followers, you're literally creating thousands of conversations. And his content was not leading people to buy. He was not posting enough value. He was just posting these like very top of funnel videos, which is cool. But I told him, it's now is the different time. Before, when you had the situation when you weren't getting views, top of funnel content was something you need to focus on. But once you have the attention, you don't need more attention. Attention isn't the bottleneck. The bottleneck is the fact that you're not nurturing people, and so that's what you need to focus on. right? He was also positioning himself as an influencer, almost. And by the way, if you're positioning yourself as an influencer, that's a dangerous place to be if you don't take action on it and fix it as soon as possible. Like, you don't want to be a fucking influencer, you want to be a coach, right? You want to provide value. And that's like, I saw a guy who has 400,000 followers, and he made a launch, his new school community he made like $850 from the entire launch. That's fucking terrible for almost 500,000 followers. That's terrible. But why? I've been following this guy for the last 3 years because he was positioning himself as an influencer and not a fucking coach. He's a fitness coach, by the way. But if you look at his profile, there's no way in the world you're going to tell he's a fucking fitness coach. He's a fucking influencer. But I'm telling you, there is no reason as to why he cannot, with 24,000 followers, there's no reason why he shouldn't be making at least $50,000 a month. At least. At the very fucking least. But what was the solution? So these were all the problems, right? Problems are cool. Problems happen. But what was the solution? What did I tell him to do? He simply had to put a water cup under the tap to collect the attention. That is the analogy I gave him, right? So you have the views. You have the views. Well, all you gotta do is just like convert them. Put yourself in front of those people that are following you, that want to hear from you. Put the fucking water cup so that the water, the attention, like essentially think of this as wallet. His wallet, right? Let the attention fucking pour into your wallet. Convert them, right? Put out more nurturing content. The guy wasn't posting consistently on YouTube, right? YouTube is such a great fucking platform. He wasn't posting as many value reels as he should have. He wasn't posting as many story sequences as he should have and could have, right? That's why I told him more story sequences, more valuable YouTube videos, more warm outreach. Like, this guy was doing zero warm outreach. And keep in mind, during this entire fucking time, like these last few months, he had around 10k followers more, like 10,000 more followers, around that. And so imagine he was doing warm outreach to all of those 10,000 people, right? I'm not going to get into the math of how many people he could have reached out, how many people he could have converted, all that stuff, because I don't know the averages, but like he could have done a very, very fucking solid job. If he was doing like 100 conversations, which like I think that's like the limit to how many people you can actually reach out to per day, or conversations per day. If he was reaching out to 100 people every single day, that's like 3,000 people a month. During these couple of months, he could have easily talked to those 10,000 people, right? Now, let's say he had a couple of thousand of conversations, he would easily be in the hundreds in terms of the bookings that he was going to get, right? And so he was simply not making money just because he didn't have a proper back-end selling system. He didn't have a seller that was dialed in, was reaching out to these people, was fucking booking them in, qualifying them. Like, that's what he was missing. It's the simplest thing. He had the attention. He didn't even have to nurture them. He just had to like engage with them, right? But positioning his content and profile properly, that was the last step, which we kind of covered. Like, he had to put more value and all that kind of shit. But it also had to position him as himself as a coach, not as an influencer. So that was the solution, and he applied some of it. And he said that the biggest leverage he could pull, he closed 7.4k in 7 days, and he went from having 8,000 followers to 23,000 followers. That is more than 10,000 conversations. That's like 15,000 conversations in the span of a few months. It's insane. And he told me himself that the biggest lever he pulled that got him this result was the warm outreach that he did. You probably right now, you're probably getting hundreds of followers a day or some shit, or thousands, and you're not reaching out to those people. You're literally leaving conversations on the table. You cannot be relying on people to reach out to you. That's like the simple the law of physics. If action isn't taken, then no results will happen, right? And so how do you expect, if you don't reach out to people, like, yeah, they may reach out, if you have, but even then, if you want people to reach out, you need to post stories, you need to nurture. Like, if you want people to reach out, like, you're still gonna have to put in effort. There's no such thing as you post content and people reach out to you, right? There is at larger scales, but you have to actually reach out. Like, why wouldn't you reach out? It's just more money in your pocket, more chances to make more money in the pocket, right? He got his results, and that was like end of October. And I reached out to him a couple of days ago in November, and he told me he's stuck. He's not collecting. By the way, these fucking things, they indicate what he told me in the voice message, right? He's stuck, he's not collecting much new revenue. All revenue is old recurring revenue, right? They're not bringing in new people. Troubleshooting with the server, which kind of tells me that server is kind of not dialing in. Value content isn't bringing people in, or in other words, like it's not converting people in, right? All that kind of stuff. And so these are the issues he is right now experiencing. But why? If he had momentum here, why did that momentum stop? And so this is, by the way, a new problem. I didn't give him a solution yet. He didn't apply a solution, so I can't really give you an update. But in this video, I'm going to go over the solution. I'm going to break down why I think he's actually not collecting much and how we can solve it. I'm gonna work on making this a bit sexier, and I'm gonna come back to you guys. Okay. So let's analyze his current situation, right? So I told him to send me some of the stories he has posted over the last 10 days. He told me that in the last 10 days, that's when he was struggling with these problems. So I just told him to, like, hey, send me I'm making this YouTube video, send me the stories, we're gonna review them on the video and see what we can make it better, right? So, but let me go over his profile first. Like, what I immediately noticed, and of course, like these things that I'm just talking about, these are assumptions. These don't have to be the direct bottlenecks that he's dealing with. These are assumptions, right? I'm not a genie. I don't know what he's exactly struggling with, but this is what I assume, looking at his profile, is happening. So why is all this happening? Why is there momentum? Because he has gained even more followers. Like last time when he got this result, he was at around maybe 18,000 followers. He's now at 23. So there's like 6,000 or 5,000 more conversations that he generated. Why is there a bottleneck? I believe there's no nurturing direction in his bio. When I see this in a profile, and it's like not a big person, I'm kind of pissed. Limited spots this month apply below, and it's type form, or whatever, U form. Here's the thing. Here's what he's asking. He's a confidence coach, and he's helping unconfident, very low quality men open up to him so he can sell them, right? When you're selling to somebody, they have to know your pain points, right? But so if you're selling to a niche that is heavily insecure, the people he's selling to are heavily insecure. And so when you personally ask yourself, when you're telling somebody something that you're insecure about, you are going to tell it to a person that you heavily fucking trust, right? So in order for people to actually apply anything, they need to fucking trust him tons. But how do you build trust? You build trust by spending time with people and giving them value and all that shit. But you're not doing that with a fucking type form or anything. Okay, sure, he has YouTube, but he's not prioritizing YouTube. He's not prioritizing YouTube. He's prioritizing the fucking type form. He's not saying go watch my free video. He's saying apply below. You have to prioritize YouTube. The nurturing direction is you have to make a free video on YouTube and say, hey, this is a free video that solves your problem. Click below to watch it, and the link directly leads to that single video that's like hours long, right? That's how you're going to convert people. That's how you're going to nurture people. Not by having them to apply. Like, no. Especially in the niche that he's in. Sure, if you're in a business niche, it might work. If you're a big authority already and people know you and they don't have to watch your content because they know you. But this guy, he's mostly a random guy. In the big scheme, grand scheme of things on social media, he's very small. Why should I trust you? As an insecure man, I seen you for the first time on the reels, and now I have to trust you and give you my insecurities. No, I'm not going to. Because I don't trust you. Because I'm scared that you're going to make fun of me or some shit. What if you leak it on social media? What if you laugh with it on your friends? There's skepticism, and you have to beat the skepticism, especially depending on his niche. So that's the first problem. Second problem is no highlights posted, and this has been a problem for a big time. But there's just like not enough highlights. Me, in my opinion, I would make the highlight logo itself, I would make it a lot better. Knowledge, I would add lifestyle and maybe my story. I think my story is an important one, especially because like he's dealing with those types of people that like they buy the story that he's gone through. That's the authority where it comes from. That's where it should come from in these types of offers. So those two highlights that I would definitely recommend. And then setter is probably not dialed in. Like if he was at 18,000 followers here and then he's struggling at like 6,000 more followers, well, setter's probably not dialed in, you know. That's what I'm assuming. He's not qualifying people correctly. He got lazy. He saw a little bit of win here, and then he just got lazy, all that kind of stuff. But then, let's analyze some of his stories. So what I told him to post fucking a shit ton of stories. I told him to post like 20 stories a day. Did he do 20 stories a day? So this is probably 2 stories on 29th of October. 2 stories on 30th of October. 1 story on 31st of October, and it's just like a story repost. 1 story on November 1st. Second story, which is a hand raiser, which could bring in leads, but it's still not enough. On 2nd November. 2 stories on 3rd November. No, 4 stories on 3rd November. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 talking head stories on 4th November. But like, it's okay. He's doing okay, but he's not doing enough. So he's not nurturing his audience. He's not focused on nurturing his audience, spending time with them. If he was doubling his story accounts, if he was posting like fucking 20 times a day, and he had 10,000 eyeballs, sure, because he's, you know, overloading his stories, those eyeballs may drop to like a few hundred, a few thousand, a few hundred, I don't know, but those would be qualified. I would rather have 100 people that view my stories that are fucking dialed in and want to buy from me, rather than fucking having 10,000 people that, you know, they just fucking, I don't know, they don't give a fuck about me, right? These hand raisers are good, but if you're doing the hand raisers because before you connect and nurture the audience, it's just like not gonna work. You're gonna burn your audience out, right? So what he needs to do here, and what you should be doing if you're in the same position as him, you need to be posting fucking 20 stories a day. 20 fucking stories a day. Build rapport, show people what you're doing, how you're helping people, and how you can help them. Give them nuggets of information. That's what you need to be doing in order to nurture the audience.
We explained this entire part, which is like the timeline of the problem and all that shit. But now I want to get into the funnel, and pretty much like this funnel, like this entire timeline follows this funnel, right? Like we had top of funnel was here, top of funnel stage was here. This was the bottom of the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel stage, and then this was the result of it, right? So this is the entire funnel, but like I kind of broke it down in a pyramid so you can actually see it. So these are some of my clients. So we have, or like previous clients, current clients, all that kind of stuff. John, Mark, Nick, Daria, and you can see Harut down here. Yeah, so you have top of funnel content. Top of funnel content is simply the content that Chris needed to be focusing on in the beginning, right? It was the content that was bringing eyeballs in. It was getting people to like you. It was getting people to be aware of who the fuck you are, right? Because if they don't know who the fuck you are, it's just like, there's no way they're going to listen to you, to your value, right? If you go back to my previous video, that's exactly where I explained the perfect analogy. But if people don't know who you are, they're not going to listen to your fucking valuable shit. They're not going to, right? Unless you're some big fucking guy like Donald Trump, and Donald Trump shows up and he talks value, he doesn't have to post top of funnel content because everybody fucking knows who he is. But if people don't know who you are, and in the grand scheme of things, you're pretty small, you need top of funnel content, right? And so that can be like, this is like the vlog type of content, a day in the life, being stronger and richer than everyone in 21. That's like the type of content that can appeal to everyone. It's not a specific demographic, just everybody. Come and watch, learn who I am. Day in the life, learn to see what I do in a day. And this is also could be a very good nurturing mechanism as well, but that's a story for another day. And then reels like this, where it's just like nice footage in a nice car, right? With a quote and all, nice editing, 100,000 views, very good top of funnel content, getting people to bring them in, new people who've never seen you before, and to see what you are about and get them to like you and all that kind of stuff. Just getting people to be aware of you. Because then after that, once they've seen you a few times, it's very easy to sell them on value. Here, another very good example of a top of funnel video. And here is actually another example of a top of funnel video, but for YouTube, it's like a vlog, how I actually felt becoming a millionaire at 27. It's not a specific demographic that he's targeting, just a video that everybody could watch and everybody, it could appeal to everybody. So that is top of funnel, bringing awareness in. Middle of funnel is now that you have that awareness, you have to nurture it. You have to nurture it. Like a lot of people, the difference between businesses and influencers is the influencers just focus on top of funnel, but businesses, they actually nurture it. They get attention and they instantly nurture it. And there's like, there's like passive nurturing, where like you set up your profile in a way that it's like as soon as somebody comes into your account, they can be nurtured. So that's like story highlights, pinned videos, you posting stories on a daily basis, 20 stories a day, all that kind of stuff, and YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff. So that's like passive nurturing. But like active nurturing, obviously you always have to be nurturing people. It's like posting new videos, new fucking valuable videos, all that kind of stuff. So for example, steal my 2.7 million online fitness coaching blueprint. It's fucking value. It gives you value. It's like steal it. Here's get the money. It's like 3 fucking hours. 3 hours of being with somebody, right? So like, average person needs to consume fucking 7 hours of your content to buy from you. This guy halved it in like 3 fucking hours. One video, and he's halved that time that somebody needs to consume his content to buy from him. Fucking insane, right? These types of videos, you give value to people. You give them little, short snippets of value. This year as well, you scale a brand from, this certain amount to that certain amount, give them some value and insight, all that kind of stuff. This isn't going to get a lot of views, but it's going to nurture the people that already follow you. It's very effective. And then bottom of funnel is simply where you convert people. So you can do this through just like client wins, client interviews, breakdowns, just like I'm doing right here. Story highlights and, regular stories is also a great way to convert people and all that kind of stuff. But that is essentially it. That is kind of the funnel broken down. I know this isn't a long one, and I don't have to make it long because I've already discussed so much stuff here. And if you do want to see this funnel kind of broken down a little bit more, at least these 2 stages, check out my last video where I break down how one of our clients was, literally stuck at 500 to 1,000 views, and we got him, I think, 1 million views in the last 30 days or something like that. So it was a big jump, and I explained why that big jump happened. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe for more. Make sure to check out my channel for more value. And if you want me and my team to apply this entire funnel and more into your business so you can print more money from your followers, like that's what the title says, the exact system, or I don't know what the title is going to be, the exact system to turn viewers into buyers. If you want us to implement that to your business, you can, feel free to book a call. First link in the description. Book a call with me and my team. See if you would be the right fit and how we can exactly help you. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.